In New York City growing up, I was born in New York, and you'd walk down 6th Avenue and see these monolithic Mies van der Rohe type skyscrapers. And they were these rectangles that were kind of mirrored. So I got kind of used to that. It's just a rectangle, there's no genius to it, but it's like a skyscraper on its side. And it's like an alien life form sitting on this rugged, rough landscape. Yeah, what do you want me to do? Dance around?
You're tough. This is hot.
Aha! You thought I was coming out. All right, there you go.
Oh, we should tell the story. Yeah.
Well, I
Tell the
mean,
story. I want the story.
Well, they wanted this little thing,
Yeah, that's right.
and we couldn't legalize it.
so our first problem was there was like a prefab for sale. We just did a quick grade, dropped it down, was going to get some water and some solar, and that was going to be it. And then the county started going, you can't do that, it's less than 20 feet wide.
What happened was that they insisted in the government here that you have 20 feet wide. They also insisted that you not go solar until you connected to the conglomerate of the power company. So you're paying for the power company maybe $40,000, and the water as well, you pay for the water. So you pay maybe $20,000 for that, or $30 if it's way in the middle of nowhere. So that was what we were surprised by.
Yeah.
With the bureaucratic quagmire, there was no
First
possibility.
we had the
of it.
land, and it was like, we got it kind of like art, you know, sculpture, and Tomas and I would walk, and we'd look at the flowers, and he would get really crazy about lichen, and I don't see it now, it's dry, but it gets a lot of different colors, like bright green, reds, black,
Yellow.
white, yellow. So,
Most people don't get excited about lichen. I mean, this is a special.
well, I was Thomas. I'm more into flowers. And you see like that line? See, it's like a snake. See, I'm more into the way the rocks form and how they shape, and they're like billions of years old. And they look like they were underwater, but it might just be the wind and the rain that did that.
The wind and sun.
As soon as you build on some beautiful piece of nature, you're compromising a little bit. Just walking, sometimes you just walk over spaces that have never been walked over before, and you know it doesn't come back right away. It might take years of rain, and for like just one person walking and making a little bit of a trail, and it stays in the ground for years. And then eventually it grows back, but the landscape changes slowly. So when you do something like this, you try to put something back in.
We didn't change anything around it. So there was no grading, there was no modification of the terrain. We just drop it there, practically.
So even the rocks are as they are?
Oh yeah, they're untouched.
Wow. Because despite looking like a very hardy environment, this is actually quite a fragile ecosystem, no?
It is. It's a tough ecosystem to survive in. So. Yeah. And you know, you can approach this project in different ways. You have a beautiful sort of moon-like surrounding, and what do you do with the building? You can, and you can do many things, but what we decided to do was to just drop something very foreign, a foreign object, and have it reflective, so we can reflect it.
Why this spot in particular? I'm assuming you walked the land and...
We walked the land. We have 80 acres to pick up the spot. And that looked the best in relation to the terrain. And we want a house to be lifted.
You've walked all this land now?
Yeah, I know all the trails for 10 miles. Where the shadowy rocks are.
Yeah.
There's panorama, Bigfoot, all the way around where that tank is. all the way down to those far mountains. Wow. Mary's Trail, right in front of the big ones. Got nothing better to do.
So this last part of the building is floating just all the way to these two pillars here.
Right, and beyond that, it's elevated. There was only so much we could cantilever
But not much.
without breaking the glass.
Otherwise, it would be too.
It would be too flexible for the glass building.
So, what do you call the house?
Invisible house. Because it goes invisible towards the end of the day, right before sunset. If you're standing looking at a broadside, you can't see it. You have to look at the top edge where it doesn't quite match the rocks in the background. But you have to have pretty sharp eyes if you're out by the road. Thomas and I have been working because we were always for a film production when we did American Psycho and Spring Breakers. And so then in 2006 we were out here and I dragged that little thing. So they said it's too narrow. It's not a container, you know, it's a commercial coach.
So, this whole thing started off just small.
Didn't start out small, it started out unlawful.
So we couldn't
They were
even
giving
live
us
in it.
$500 a month like penalties. And I kept talking to the inspector and he goes, look, just build another house and we'll forget about you. This will be your construction accessory building. And
Why'd they care how wide it was?
Oh, well, they
they
changed
didn't want
it.
an RV or trailer
They
camps,
changed that
and
since
We're
then.
close to the national park. People will do abuse.
People are coming out here to live, nice people living in trailers, or nomad people that they are trying to alienate. Joshua Tree, everybody has a story.
So Thomas and I would like, wow, it would be really good to do nothing, but as long as we have to do something. And then he said, you know, if we put all the weight on one side, not that it's as easy as it sounded, we could actually not dig into the ground that much, so like half the house can actually be floating over the rocks. And I go, okay, let's do that. That way we're not really as you know, prominent as it seems. It kind of does a little bit of a footprint.
So, tell me about choosing glass for this, because that's obviously important.
Well, that was a scary part of it because we are in a very hot environment. This is the desert. But the glass industry, you know, really progressed a lot and can produce the glass which to the, you know, late days of the afternoon does not let any heat going through. So basically you can see if you go inside, you see how hot it is inside, you touch the glass and the glass will be cold. And you can see the glass, you know, even on the sunny side.
I mean, if this whole wall opens. I mean, got a little heat here, but...
And you can see the difference in the glass, right?
Oh, I like the overlap, right? Don't you? Where it kind of like... See how you get... They're not pure mirror, it's reflectors. And it never has these, because it's not really mirrors, it's solar cool, blue, vitro, PPG, low A glass. So when you go inside, you can...
So you kind of want to feel like you're still outside here.
Well, you always feel like you're outside unless you put the shades down. Here, this is a cool thing because, see if you look out, see how you can see the pool and the mountains? See the mountains over there?
Sort of.
We can see out, but when they see in, it's mirrored. But it does have an opaque filter so that at night there's a shadowy figure dancing around in the shower. But
And there too, are we seeing something? I don't see any, that's reflected, right?
no, that you can see
See
through.
something there?
Yeah, watch. See the pool?
Oh, I do see it now. It's really subtle. Wow.
And you're like a ghost, see? And the rocks over there, if you can stand to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all like an experience. That's like, I mean, you can't know that stuff in advance.
What is that then?
It's got the refractive UV filter on both sides.
Okay.
So this has it only on one side, low E on the other, and it's 12 millimeters apart. This is touching, but it's got a diffuser in there that's kind of slight, I don't know what they call it, opaque, so they, it doesn't show too much. Everybody's working out of bed now, right? But now that everybody's working out of bed, that bed, is a great place to, remake the world. And, well, I mean, here we go. This took like 2 or 3 days. The double sheet of glass here is like 2,500 pounds or something. It's more than a ton.
That's a door now. That's a mirror, a door, a window right there.
This is a toilet.
All right. Another mirror, huh? Yeah.
Oh, it's not
Great.
a mirror.
Oh, this one's not a mirror now.
It's just not, well, they're all the same. The only things that are really mirrors are these things.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think you've seen these lights here. Over the shower, though, was kind of interesting because that's its own segment that you can turn on and off.
That's a shower with no window or curtain.
Well, we do have shades if all the rooms have shades if you want to black them out. I mean, no one's going to see. First place, during the day, you can't see anything. And second place, no one's going to be standing out there at night. And they're blackout, and you can project on them, but I would project on that.
So your idea was to hug this rock here. I mean, it feels so great to see this. Or was it not? I mean, were you thinking about the rock when you placed the structure? Because you're right here.
Well, Thomas is responsible for
Do
the
you wanna walk
positioning of the cantilever, but we were pretty sure we'd see some rocks out there, yeah. So, yeah, and this is kind of cool. I think we have some metal. Oh, yeah, you can still see the two pieces. That's where it was originally supposed to end up. It came pretty close, and then they just sawed them off. That was like just a marker. But yeah, you see the entire mountain and the big mountain in the back, that's all inside the property. And that mountain is too. But there's an old railroad easement. This was railroad land like in the 1890s. And that's why it's such a big, I mean, they had cows and they were ranches out, and that's a national park out there, of course. Oh, you haven't seen, wait a minute, you got to see the Invisible House guitar. This is like a big deal. Everybody's played this thing. Somebody had a clear surfboard for some fashion shoot, and I used to, from my recording studio days, Intergalactic Music, I used to have a lot of guitars, so I go, man, how cool would one of those Dan Armstrong 1970 Lucite Clear. So I sent that message to one of my friends, Perry Margleff, who I used to roll with, and he had brought in like different bands, the Rolling Stones, and he goes, what's the address? It'll be there on Friday. And there it was, and I opened it up, and it had this crazy ultra-low string on it. That's like some kind of bass string. And then one of the keys is like doesn't match. So I sent him a message, Perry, man, what's the deal here? This was somebody's guitar. I mean, it was just set up too crazy, like for some studio gig. He goes, oh, don't tell anybody, but yeah, it's Joe Perry's guitar.
Now you've told somebody.
Yeah, no, everybody knows now. It's written on the case. I mean, Keith Richards used to have one too, but this was Joe's. Where does he, was he Aerosmith? I can't remember. All right, well, there's the washer dryer.
Oh, well, that's important. You even have practical things here. Got it, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. And then this side, blueberries.
So you kind of just wanted one big open space. I mean, there's not really.
Well, there were supposed to be glass doors.
Oh. And what happened?
But I don't know. They're expensive, complicated, and you would have kept banging into it. It was going to be right at the edge of the pool. You definitely didn't need it there because you can just close those doors. So why have more glass doors? See, there's the next one.
Yeah, I've seen photos. Huh? Those are shipping containers, right?
Yeah, there's 20 of them here. I was always looking at containers, you know, and that's those rocks over there, but I moved it. And I have some beautiful land, also bordering national parks. That's like the living room.
You just like architecture. I mean, because you've done one well in film, but now you think, well, I might as well explore architecture.
Well, it's similar. It's a production. I was always in art. You know, I played music with Jean-Michel Basquiat, and I had the recording studio. And then Andy Warhol he was always involved in music, right? So he used to send people over. So I knew Andy from my college days. But let me see, there's the spectacular. There it is, there's the spectacular. So that's basically the deal, right?
Is this what you thought it would be when you envisioned it? Like being here, does it feel what you thought?
Well, it's hotter. And there was like California lost 4 million acres of land last year. So it's drier for like 2014, 15, 16, 18. It rained a lot and there were flowers everywhere. In 2015 there was an ice storm end of July and it flooded and then this whole valley turned like yellow flowers. You can't imagine.
Really?
Oh man, I mean we're not talking like a couple flowers. Oh, come on. Sometimes it's covered with purple cactus and the light's always changing. Sometimes it snows and it's all white, you know, it's like these rocks just are filled. If you can see anything that looks like a plant, with enough rain it bursts into flowers and it just covers those rocks like a garden.
I know a lot of people worry about birds hitting glass.
Well, the thing is, this is a desert, and birds mostly walk here. They don't fly in a straight line. They just walk from one shaded bush to another, most of the time. We don't have a bird problem.
Wait, you could take over. Huh? Okay, Roberta, her daughter's like covering for us now.
Where's the door? Oh, is there another one?
They're all doors.
Awesome. So you're still doing film?
Well, yeah, but I mean, first place, they can take 5 or 10 years to make one movie. It used to be you could do 6 little ones a year and pre-sell it, and now everybody wants bigger movies and series. And
So you're moving into architecture as well. Like, it's all art, right? That's what it sounds like to you.
well, it's all production. It's all playing with light and what we're doing.